Hello, everyone.
God, this angle makes me look like a fatty fuck. Hey, all right. Welcome to the Tuesday morning edition of the Off Base Podcast. The podcast that has been carefully crafted to remind all of you, the big yawn, to suck a fat one if for some stupid reason you think you're the only one. I am your host. I am the Rocky Mountain no-name Jackass. And it's 7:50 a.m. in the city of Aurora. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 55 degrees in the city of Aurora at 7:50 in the a.m. on Tuesday, April 12th, 2022. Noise. Chaw time. My wife's least favorite part of the podcast. Ooh, there's a stem. I don't want to be chewing on that. All right. The ceremonial spit. Oh, it's a little windy out there. There we go. It wasn't windy when we started things this morning, and very, very comfortable, very beautiful walking out of our house. I was quite enjoying it, and I stayed focused. Oh, look at this fucking idiot! Yeah, way to stop. Coloradans are the worst goddamn drivers ever. Texans are fine except for the fact that they don't use turn signals. Floridians are fine. I had no problems with them, but god damn, these Coloradans fucking suck. Anyway, yeah. So the morning was beautiful, and I stuck with my plan after getting absolutely shit sleep the night before because I took a fucking nap on Sunday afternoon. The naps give it to me every time. If I take a nap on the weekend, I cannot get to bed. I cannot fall asleep. And then I'm up. And then everything sucks an ass. Or a fat one. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that my head hit the pillow, 9 o'clock, boom. And it did. I did get up at around 1 to go potty. I had to go potty. But then came right back to sleep. And got back up again at about 4:45. So I got my 7.5 and feel much, much better. I don't feel fully refreshed. But definitely way, way better than yesterday. And I have to continue to make this a habit. I was watching Matthew Walker videos again, not just the Joe Rogan podcast. The Rogan podcast is great because he covers all the shit that he's learned about sleep. But he's published a bunch of other smaller videos, like I saw a TED Talk that he did, and just other little things on where he answers a couple questions about sleep. And it's just continuing to ring home with me. Yeah, for a great long life, you better get your ass to bed. The whole notion of you can sleep when you're dead, doesn't. I forgot how Matthew Walker talked about it, but he kind of put that misnomer to bed. It's like, no. The better that your sleep is, the longer that you will live. I can't remember if he called it the elixir for longevity. He had some quip about the elixir of something good. Something good that sleep provides you. What did he say at one point? He was talking about how most people say that the 3 pillars for good health are sleep, diet, and exercise. And he said, no, sleep is the foundation upon which the other 2 are built. Sleep helps to regulate the hormones that help to control your cravings as far as diet goes. Sleep is what allows you to recover from exercise in the best possible way. And its research proves it, man. Sleep is the shit. And for years, I have been going on anywhere in between, 4 to 6 hours per night, which is not good. I am very much determined to get back on that schedule. And one of the big things, somebody asked him a question in one of his lectures. They said, well, let's say you miss a night of sleep. How do you get back on track? Since sleep is not like credit, it's not like a bank where, you can house your savings and then pull it out whenever you want. Sleep's not like that. If you miss it, you lose it forever. So somebody said, well, if that's the case, well, then how do you get back on track? And he said, well, just stick to regularity. The regularity of going to sleep at the same time every night and waking up at the same time every morning. And obviously, I have heard him say that multiple times. And that is the big thing that I'm trying to focus on as far as health goes right now. Because out of the other two factors, diet and exercise, my exercise regimen, I know how to do that. I've been doing that since I was a kid, since I was 5 years old. Working out specifically for specific goals, I didn't start doing that until my mid-20s. Before that, it was just, let's go play a pickup game. Let's go play some basketball. Let's go hit some balls. That's how it was back then. But diet-wise, I didn't really understand how best to eat until, again, like my late 20s, I'll say. But sleep, there was no education out there about sleep. But now there is. So yeah, going to bed at 9, waking up at approximately 5. If I'm anywhere after 4, that's good, because that'll give me 7 hours worth of sleep. And that's the window that you want, 7 to 9, for full recovery and optimal performance during the day. That's what I'm going for. If I can ever get to the upper end of the spectrum, where I'm averaging 9 a night, man, I think that's gonna be fucking awesome. And my wife is going out of town again for work next Monday, I think. And I really want to show the kids that particular video, because if they see that and things start to get more busy for them as they continue to get older, get a license, get a job, get ready for college, I think that they are going to really appreciate what that means. Because, back in the day, I'll take it to college. If I had a test coming up the next day or several tests coming up the next day, I might pull an all-nighter, or at least, study until I thought that all the material that I had to learn was ingrained in my brain. But you're better off when you start to feel the pangs of sleep, the sleep pangs, just to go to sleep, because the retention rate goes way up when your sleep is solid versus when it's not. He actually showed a study that he had, I don't know if he had done it or someone else had done it, but just on the amount of information one retains when they're getting the full 8 hours versus when they're not. It was pretty freaking phenomenal. So as my children continue to go through life and they find themselves in those situations, realizing that they're going to be much better off getting that full night of sleep, and maybe they'll get a B instead of an A, that's okay. At least in the long run, they're going to remain healthier, and they'll probably, in the long run, end up retaining more, in that all the information that they took in to get a B, they'll be able to retain and use it going forward to potentially, get A's to build on that foundation, versus cramming it all in one night, getting the A, but then forgetting it all. So, there it is. I know I've been focusing on it a lot for my 2 podcast listeners. I've been focusing on sleep a lot, but it's such a prominent thing with me right now. Because that's the piece for me that's been missing. I think my lack of sleep has screwed up all kinds of things in my life. Psychology being one. So, yeah. Regularity, man. Regularity. Habit. Discipline. It's nice to get discipline back in one's life. Gives you power. And flexibility, too. The analogy that I could use for that was when I was training really, really hard as an actor. Never went to official school for it. My education came from the School of Hard Knocks. Wasn't that hard. But just in the real world, the amount of community theater that I had done, man, I treated it like it was a professional endeavor. And wanted to continue to get better at acting, and researched and experimented. And what I found is that there's a process that you can go through as an actor that will allow you to be open to what your scene partners are giving you. Now, some of you may be out there saying, well, you guys are saying the same lines every time. Yes, but if you are listening intently for tone, if you're listening intently for intention in how the other person is saying their lines, it's not a matter of saying it the same way every time. That's not the point. That's not what you're trying to do when you're acting. What you're trying to do is you're trying to do something to the other person you're with. Now, the difficulty comes in the fact that your instrument is the same every time. Let's say, for example, you're in a fight. One person has a hammer, the other person has a pen. Your instrument's the same every night. Your instrument's the same every time, but it's a matter of, you know what? One of you can, if you have the pen, you could probably defeat the person with the hammer if you go about it the right way. So they're going to be intending on doing something to you with the hammer. They could throw it at you. They could go at your knees. They could go at your arms. It's up to you to dodge it and then counterattack. That's the same thing with real acting. It's not a matter of swinging the hammer the same way every time or swinging the pen the same way every time. It's a matter of swinging it differently and seeing if you can have an actual effect on the person that you were in the scene with. That's the whole point of acting. And really, that's where the thrill of it comes from. It's nice to get a standing ovation at the end of the night, but when you actually create moments with your scene partner, that's where the money is. That's where the gold is. So it's within that discipline of staying open, listening, not listening for the words. Obviously, you're listening for the words so you can get your cue, but you're listening more for intention. You're listening for tone. Like, how's this person saying this to me? And then you come back at them. Not in a predetermined way. You just come back at them based on what they just gave you. And when you train that way, again, the tools are the same, but the amount of flexibility that you can have when using the tools, all of a sudden just your world opens way the fuck up. So I like discipline. I like it a lot. And who knows if I'll ever get back into acting. I like directing as well. Helping people get to those moments. Having them learn a process. That is certainly one of those instances where process it trumps the outcome. Way more. I phrased that horribly. Process way trumps the outcome. I think that's what I wanted to say. I think you understood that. So we went from sleep to acting to where do we go next? Well, I'll tell you what, if I had that kind of discipline when I was trying to trade stocks and options, I'd be a fucking millionaire right now. But unfortunately, I didn't have a coach. I didn't have coaches. I subscribed to so many different online services over the last decade trying to learn how to trade stocks and options, but the mentors were always vague in what they were doing. They'd never tell you when they were getting into the position, how many shares or contracts that they were buying, what their target price was, when they were getting out. They never did that shit. And me being as concrete as I was, I needed that type of information. It's really shitty. Anyway, I'll save that topic for another day, because at some point I would love to get back into the business of trading. I really enjoyed it. I think there was really something there for me to excel at. So, here we are at roughly the halfway point between the kids' school and base. As we head on back to base, let's review what we got coming up for the day. Day's going to be interesting because I told Stepson that we can postpone our Monday workout. This is the first time I've done this since we started working out. And it was only because my sleep was so horrible and I felt so horrible, especially in the lower body, and we were going to be doing legs. But I did still go for a 2-mile walk on the treadmill at a 10% incline. It really broke a nice sweat out of that. I'm amazed at how well that's working right now, and we'll see how well it works in the long run by the time we hit July, if I'm down to roughly 175 to 180 pounds. That's where I'm headed. Starting the journey now. So I got April, May, June, July. So 4 months. We'll say 4 weeks per month. So 4 times 4, 16. Yeah, to lose about 16 pounds from where I'm at right now, that'll put me at about 175. Pound a week. Although we're in the middle of April, so it's probably more like 12 pounds, 13 pounds. But we'll see how it goes. So, I don't know what we're going to do for workouts today, because we're supposed to do legs. But the reason why I don't know is because stepson is volunteering at school, which is fucking great. I love that. Instead of just coming home and getting on his console and playing video games. So he's staying at school until 6. And of course the little one and stepdaughter, they have their regular pickup. So my stepdaughter has art club after school, so I'll get her at roughly 4:45. But then if I take them home, I immediately have to turn around and come back and go get the stepson at 6 o'clock. So what we're probably going to do is, after I pick up stepdaughter and my son, we're just going to hang out, probably go to Subway. We're going to have Subway for dinner. And then just wait for stepson to finish. But then the question is all right, are stepson and I going to get a workout in? I'm kind of toying with the fact of just moving our workouts around and doing one of our fit tests today. Probably doing the Asylum fit test. We'll see. I think that might work. And that might also mean that I eat. Well, yeah, I can probably get some Subway. Yeah, I think I'll do that, because my diet has been going really, really well last 2 weeks during the week, not on the weekends. Weekends are for enjoyment, so we indulge a little bit more. I eat a couple more calories. I drink a couple more calories, if you know what I'm saying out there, motherfuckers. But during the week, it's been pretty solid. It has been, when I get home, like right now, I'm starting to feel hungry, I'll have a cup of keto coffee, 4 eggs, and half of an avocado. And that puts me at around 700 calories. 700 or 600? Somewhere around there. And then I'll have my chicken and cabbage soup, which puts me around 1150, 1200. And then I just wait until I have dinner and try to stay under somewhere around 1800. So if I do that again today, I'll go home, I'll have my breakfast, and then for lunch I'll have the chicken and cabbage soup, and then I have a Subway with the two youngest, and that should keep me at 1,800. We'll get home, do the asylum fit test. I'll probably walk on an incline for 2 miles. And, yeah, it'll be good. Looking forward to it. So there you have it, everybody. I think that's the plan for today. I think that this podcast provides me with all kinds of clarity in all kinds of areas of my life. And that was one of them. Talking through shit, man. It helps. Even if you're talking to yourself, like I am. Just make sure that it's not another personality that you're talking to there. That's a freaky thing. A couple weekends ago, we watched, stepdaughter and I watched Identity with John Cusack. And one of my favorites, Amanda Peet, she got started on a show on CW called Jack and Jill. And it was the women on that show who actually ended up getting some pretty good careers. It was Amanda Peet, Jamie Presley. Fucking love Jamie Presley. She posed as Playboy because she was gorgeous, but she's also turned out to be a really good actress. She was on that My Name is Earl show. She was Earl's wife, I think. And then there was another girl, Sarah Paulson. Yeah, she was the third one. So all three of them ended up having really nice careers in the acting business. But anyway, yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. Don't know how I got on it. Oh, multiple personality disorder. That's what it was. All right, here we go. Making the turn back on to the base. Very, very close now to submitting the taxes. We're just waiting for the money to be deposited into our checking account so that we can pay what we owe to the United States government. And then that particular monkey will be off my back, even though it's not a monkey. That's more like a fucking gorilla. Every year, taxes, they just anger me. The amount of money that we have to end up giving to the government. It goes to paying my wife's salary, but hey, I don't mind that. She's helping to defend the country. Morning, bro.
Hey, how are you, sir?
Not bad.
Sweet, appreciate it. Have
Thank
a good
you.
day.
Oh, good. It's not supposed to sleep. Here we are. Back on the base. Windy as all get out. That is one of the things that living in Colorado I did not expect, was the amount of wind that we encounter. Whether it's a function of, having the mountains directly to the west of us, or the fact that we're in such a nice wide open space for the airfield, I don't know. But it's a lot of wind. Needless to say, this particular Tuesday is already feeling good. And a lot of times my pessimistic attitude would be like, well, if it starts out good, it's got no place to go but down. Whereas I should be thinking, you know what? No, it's got no place to go but up. Let's see how high we can take this bitch. As Denver shows up in the foreground with some clouds behind the mountains in the background. That's an ominous sight. Either way, folks, that'll close it down for the Tuesday edition. I want to wish everybody out there a great Tuesday. Stick with the discipline, people. Discipline is key. That regularity helps the body, at the same time allowing for flexibility. So I'll smell you tomorrow.